Today, we're going to be doing a dopamine tier list. No, this is not your traditional tier list per se, but I'm going to categorize it mainly as just a fun tier list. How fun is each character and how fun can they be? You know, don't take it personal, but this is all fact. None of it's my opinion. There's going to be no bias going into this list. None at all. I think we're all ready, chat. I think as long as everybody kind of has the premise, we're gonna take all things into account, all certain abilities, or even down to your simple auto attacks. We're gonna take every aspect of every character and try to rate it on this scale of how much dopamine they can produce. Starting off, obviously with no bias, he is my only strategist lord. I think he just goes right there. No questions asked. Adam Warlock, obviously already in the zooted category in the dopamine tier list. You got me. You got me. He is in fact my only strategist lord, but man, it kind of sucks losing sometimes. But Adam's kind of a difficult one, I'm not gonna lie. Adam kind of has, I will say he's gonna be higher than the average support. Getting a crazy alt, we're gonna try to take a step back from 6-man alts. Although some characters are going to be exceptions because 6-man ults are just unrealistic in a normal game. But the dingers alone, hitting a couple headshots with Ademio and just the aura farm potential he has with the soul bond, I think it's going to land him straight in the high category. I think the only thing to make him higher if he had more consistent healing, and with the current Ultron team up, it kind of feels a lot more comfortable than what most Adam mains are used to. So I think we're gonna start off a little bit higher. Obviously, everything's subject to change, but Adam Warlock's going kind of high. The fly, just being able to schmoob around, that's good. And going alphabetically, you know, we could pick and choose out of the list, but we'll continue with Angela. Oh boy, another lord here, guys. Another lord. Angela's good though. Angela has pretty high potential. However, I think her ult brings it down a little bit. Basically being a worse version of the upgraded magic team up, I think that's what brings her down a little bit. Her ult and the fact that her only real gameplay loop is hitting the push. I think the Loki team up makes it a little bit more fun, but if you miss the push, or even worse, if you get countered, like if they bring a couple of grounded guys, they're pulling out some buggies, you just can't do anything. So I think we're gonna have a lot of people below Angela, but chat room, I think Angela's going high for now. Black Cat is so boring, it's ridiculous. Being a dive character and being this low is kind of crazy. Her ult, I think will boost her up a little bit. If you get some crazy resets, it could feel good. But I think just with the other rotation of her abilities, mainly it's just you dash in, hit a couple whips. I think I'm going to bring her to average, you know? I don't like being a dive character kind of puts her up a little bit. You kind of like getting your hands dirty a little bit more than others. But when you really think about it, when her big shop ability is just use invis now instead of like hitting crazy portals like you want to, that's not what you want to see. Okay, next is BP. I do want to preface this might be a bad time to be doing this tier list, you know. I think the Marvel Ignite tournament's going on right now, which could be soaking up a little bit of attention from others, but hey, it's okay, you know. They did ask me if I wanted to be a part of it, but I turned it down. Like, they were offering crazy numbers like 15 million, 10 million or something, but like even 5 million, but I turned it down. Told them I wanted to grind from this streaming stuff. So I mean, you guys know how it is, but on to the next, you know. Let's speed it up a bit here. Black Panther's really high, man. I don't even play him that much, but being able to hit in the more literal sense, unreactable combos, chat room, it's a little crazy, don't you think? His ult, I will say, is sometimes just a glorified dash reset, but I think he's up here with the new Storm team up, being able to triple bank, you know. I just think that's really, really fun. The only thing that could bring him down is his cooldowns, but it's kind of boring to play a character that's busted all the time. So I think BP might be our first zooted, huh? Is that what we're thinking? I think BP is the first zooted for now. of course, everything's subject to change, but as we continue on the list, we'll see who else can come along. Black Widow, this one hurts a little bit. I think Black Widow goes down a lot. She's really quote unquote fun right now, just because I think she's pretty good in the right hands, but not being able to hit dingers like you used to be able to, and she's just a glorified auto rifle hit scan now with her DMR like sniper. It can get a bit boring. You're not really here to hit crazy numbers like you're used to. Your ult's fun, but when the character used to be the ult 90% of the time, it's just unfortunate. And that's why Black Widow is going to be our first absolute snoozer of a pick. She's going to board. Goodbye, Black Widow. She's down there. Blade, like I said, not biased at all. I am a Lord Blade, and the ult is pure aura. Gamers, the ult is kind of crazy. 1,000 cuts. If you get a crazy one, you're riding the high for a while. However, the majority of his gameplay is very, very passive. You're trying to hit headshots with the shotgun at the correct range, or you're anti-healing certain targets. Like you're locked in for a big portion of it. So I think this gets another little bit of the black hat syndrome, where the ult's real fun, but the rest of the kit kind of puts a dampen on the majority of the play, you know? Even though I do, in fact, enjoy me some Blade gamers. Captain America, another dive character who is kind of crazy goofy right now. It depends on which team up you go for. If you're able to have the flexibility to go the Thor team up, I think he's really high up here. But I think the majority of the time, the Bucky team up is just better. You know, getting like 200 bonus health every 7 seconds or something is a little bit ridiculous. So you kind of just be that damage sponge for a good portion of it. And your ult is, I'm sorry to say it, gamers, but hope everything's going smooth on your end. It is going smooth. Thank you so much for the chat, Bella Rose. I don't have a headset, so I can't hear your stream. Oh, you're not bothering. We're just having fun. We're booling around. But as I was saying, chat room, Cap, also kind of a glorified support ult. So though the majority of his gameplay is fun, if you can hit some crazy combos on the strats on the back, you're getting some nice gameplay running in and out of the fights. But I think overall we're gonna throw Cap into average gamer. Next, I don't think I have the ready at the next, Cloak and Dagger. I don't think I have to explain this at all. Absolute snooze fest over here. 3 abilities that just make you not be able to play the game. It's like 4 if you count the ult. I don't know. Also, big minus here, you're not hitting any dingers. How are you gonna have fun with a character where you auto aim, you can't hit headshots, and you're a glorified cooldown in the back room, in the back line? I can't see the enjoyment of this character other than them being a high tier. Tough cookie to crumble. Cyclops is another one where he used to be really high because of the buffs, because he was busted in OP. But I think now he's a little lower. I think, especially with how it's going, he might be even lower than Black Cat and Blade. You can hit crazy dingers, but if you're not consistent with your aim, the headshots can kind of feel lackluster if you don't hit every tick of them, chat room. You know, the ult is fun, but in reality, the enemies are either gonna save their movement abilities or just walk out of the big explosion. So it can feel really, really nice getting a big ult, but charging up that ult and kind of being a little baby with your escapes is a little lackluster from the lops. Daredevil is an absolute button masher machine. I think his ult can be crazy if used in the right hands, and the amount of buttons he has to press, it's like a constant stimulation to the brain. So I think we are gonna put Daredevil a little higher than average. If you can really understand his kit and pick up when you need to dive and how to dive as this character, I think he could be really fun. But I also think with his ult being very countable, or CC being so detrimental to Daredevil, if you don't time your deflect properly, this character doesn't really do much. Deadpool. Okay, gamers, where are we putting Deadpool? We're gonna throw Deadpool in all of them, and I think he's kind of zooted, right? I think DPS Deadpool is kind of zooted, but for the majority of them, I think we're going down here. Early game, you're a glorified alt bot. You just get your ult up, and if you have the upgraded version, you can slam them down with a band hammer. But the dashes are really fun. The new one-shot combo with the Gambit team-ups are really fun, and the new Hela team-up where you just don't have to aim your guns is also kind of fun. You do hit some dingers, but I think the overall like lack of damage on tank pool or inability to engage as DPS pool without the right follow up just only throws them out high. I don't think I can compare to Black Panther yet, gamers. Devil Dino. Devil Dino is a bit of a fun one, I think. I don't think he's zooted. I think his ult is a little bit lackluster, kind of just being a cooldown reset the majority of the time, but I think he is really fun if you can time your bleeds correctly. And oh my goodness, throwing a person off map with Dev, that's a dopamine rush, gamers. Being able to just stack your bleed on multiple frontline tanks, or even putting it in the back line so they feel the need to heal themselves, it feels really good. Having a bubble to deflect certain ultimates like Iron Man or other big things like even No More Whale, it feels nice, you know, but it doesn't feel overwhelming. I'm gonna put Devil Dino a little high. Also, to preface this, there is no order in each of the tier lists. We're just gonna throw them in alphabetically, you know. So with that, next we go Doc Strange, you know. Doctor Strange, we're gonna put him in average for now while we chit chat about this Sorcerer Supreme, dare I may. He is really fun. I think a portion of his gameplay is really slow, just being a shield tank for a majority of the game. But once you hit a crazy ult, you have your Maelstrom Madness stacked up a little bit, and you hit a crazy dinger, that's amazing. And you know what feels even more amazing? Saving the whole video game in overtime with portals. Doing that, or what I don't see enough of, gamers, is hitting funny portals, you know? Yeah, we block the doors. Yeah, we block other entrances and exits. Yes, we get to point it overtime. Where are we hitting the old Bulgur flies at, you know? Where can we get the funny I'm jumping at you with my ultimate ability? That's where we want the Strange to be, you know? Next, Elsa Bloodstone. Elsa Bloodstone is kind of just a shoot forward character. I see way too many teammates pick this character up and just decide that they just want to shoot forward and not play the rest of the game. However, she's getting a bit of the Blade and Black Cat syndrome where if you hit a great ult, that's a good ult. You can hit some dingers. With the new Devil Dino team up, your trap is actually kind of useful. So it feels good. Good morning, Cole. We're doing a dopamine tier list. A quick dopamine tier list on Marvel Rivals. We're just having some fun, deciding who's fun and who's not fun. You know? The big Marvel Ignite tournament's on right now, so we're kind of just coasting. And you know, they did ask me to be a part of it, I'm not gonna lie, you know, but I turned it down. They're shouting crazy numbers, you know, 15 million, 10 million, like, but I turned it down. I told them I want to grind from the stream and stuff for a minute. So back to our discussion about Elsa Bloodstone. I think she's going average just because if you hit a crazy ult, it's super fun, but if they kill that thing, man, that's boring. Next is Emma Frost. Emma Frost can also hit some crazy chokes and crazy ults, but she's going to be one we're going to omit from the 6-man ult. You know, everyone can hit a crazy 6-man ult, but when Elsa does it, it feels good, but not as great as some others. You know, you get crazy chokes. If you kick somebody off the map, that feels really good, but you're not picking this character to do that. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just become a glorified shield tank and just go diamond form to soak up some damage while your healers charge ult off of you. So she's fun, but compared to nearly every other Vanguard, she's going down to the low tier chat room. Sorry to bust some bubbles there, but she's getting cooked in the regard. Now, Gambit might be the most dopamine receptive strategist we have out there. Way too many buttons. He has 2 buttons that have 2 buttons on his button. What? That's so many buttons. Just the fact that you can be aggressive with your Spades deck or be more of a heal bot when you need to be with your hearts deck is really, really fun. His ult, also for strategist assault, it actually brings fun into the video game instead of just being okay, now nobody can die button. You can actually get killed during the ult. If you overextend or not position correctly, you can get really messed up. Or if you do it correctly, you can mess some motherfuckers up. So I think that's actually where Gambit excels. And his dashes are really, really fun, but you kind of just save them up for either a escape tool or a burst of healing for your tank. So I think the Gambino's gonna go on to high. You know, chat room, the mon cher little Gambit is gonna go high on the Dopamine Tierlist because it is kind of fun being able to solo some duelists who are trying to dive on you. Next, we got the Groot. Groot's a little crazy too. You know, his ults can be really fun. If you hit a crazy wall blocking tanks from their heals and stopping the support from playing, it is really, really fun. However, you are really, really reliant on your walls. And before the Iron Wall rework, you couldn't do anything. You know, you were stuck. And I think now he's still really, really prominent in the meta, but sometimes playing him, it feels like you are kind of trapped in this role of a healer blocker. You know, you can play very aggressive. If you get big ults, those feel really good, but you're not picking the character to get crazy ults. Also, we have Groot in the chat. Hello, Groot. I am Groot is kind of like an aura lob phrase, though, you know? Bro might be him, and that's kind of an understatement. He kind of is him. I think we're putting him up here. He's definitely above Cap if I were to label this, just because the ults are really, really fun. And being able to hit crazy Kobe's with his secondary fire is also amazing. But it's going to land him down here for the lack of movement or lack of disruption other than his ult, you know? We have Hawkeye. Hawkeye, he used to own the game. Now he kind of does own the game if you have the Psylocke team up with you. But I think the team ups really did not affect Hawkeye at all. He got to keep his little vulnerability and healing team up, but now it's kind of just there in his kit. However, the guy from Overwatch, otherwise known as Hanzo here, hitting dingers is fun. Being able to, especially if you aim for him, gamers, isolate the support in the backline and just absolutely make them not be able to play the game. That's pretty fun. And the phrase, hearing the phrase, I never miss, you know? I mean, he's kind of cooking, you know? He's kind of cooking. So I think he's going to go a little bit average, but I think it's the lack of ult. I don't think the ult is what's going to bring him up. I think it's kind of bringing him down. The ult's fun if you have the Psylocke team up, but the rest of his kit is a little too basic. Hitting dingers is really, really fun. But if you're not hitting dingers, you kind of just feel like you're doing nothing all game. Hela, I think, suffers from the same thing Hawkeye does. You're hitting crazy dingers consistently, you're wrecking the enemy team. But if your bird's on cooldown or if you use your ult in a poor spot, there's kind of nothing to do. I think squids, hot take chat room, kind of make her less fun. You get the elim, and then you kind of just got people playing the game for you, you know? Or they just don't lock on the right person or don't do enough damage to actually finish the kill. So I think Hela might be going down to low chat room, I'm gonna be honest. She has two other abilities, and they're kind of big fat nothing burgers, you know? The primary fire really carries this character, but having that many abilities to just feel like they do nothing sucks. Hulk? Come on now. Where aren't we gonna put Hulk? I think having a bubble ability like Hulk's is automatically just zooted. Somehow having a defensive ability give you that rush of dopamine when you're playing the video game is insane, gamers, you know? So I think Hulk's going into zooted, not even counting his ult. If you know how to juggle correctly with the ult, toss people off map while they're stunned, or even do what you need to know. Yeah. Dude, we might even put Hela down to boring, gamers. I don't even know. Like, she's almost like meta slave, where, oh well, I gotta play Hela just to kill all the enemy team. But I think she's gonna go down to boring. She's just another Black Widow, but at least Black Widow, you can hit some crazy dingers on your ult and you actually feel like you did something. With Hela, you can ult hold the shoot button, go to sleep, and you get an ace. So I think I'm bored on that fact, gamers. But back to the big green machine. Being able to stun somebody forever with your exaltation, and then resetting with your ult is really fun. See, it's like these characters, exact opposite spectrums. This one holds M1, but this one holds M1. You know, at least with Hulk, you're hitting crazy jumps. You know, it gives me that reminiscing feel of Winton from Overwatch. Human Torch, okay, this is gonna be a hot take. Human Torch is boring. Okay, chat room. I see nothing about Human Torch's kit that is fun to me. He flies fast. He can like juke shots in the air, so maybe that can be fun to some people. But to me, it's like, okay, I don't even know. His Jubilee team up just auto hits things while you're flying around him. Okay, chat. Maybe I was too harsh on him. The blow-ups are kind of crazy. I think he's kind of suffering a little Hawkeye issue, though, where his ult's a little boring. But being able to hit some crazy boom booms with your slam is pretty fun. And if you can boop somebody off the map with your slam, okay, I may have been a little bit too harsh on my homeboy Human Torch. I think he's popping up the average, you know? Being able to fly, if you can hit consistent headshots with your shotgun like pellets, I think he could actually be pretty fun. I'm sorry, game, but he's just going average. I have nothing good to say about him, but definitely nothing horrible. Invis, we hate Invis, chat. Boring ass ult. We have the ult of just nobody dies in my circle. We have the worst ability ever in the game, ever created. Not the worst. I'm saying the wrong words here, chat room. The most boring. Shield should not exist, and you should not be able to shield yourself. Putting up like a 300 HP shield for anybody in the video game that heals them, that they can shoot through and do more damage with their projectiles, it's a little bit ridiculous. I don't even know what we're thinking, gamers. We're putting her all the way in the boring category. Her basic attacks can be fun if you know how to position them on the floor, but I see all my teammates just hitting through me and taking forever to get the heals off. So she's going in the boring mode. Even having a boop ability is not gonna save her, but her anti-dive, just jump away and go invis. I think I'm playing these fun characters and I'm going to sleep looking at this on the enemy team. I'm not gonna lie. Iron Fist, I think Iron Fist is going high. I think he lacks consistency. You know, he can be the tank killer, but you mainly want to just dive on the supports with him. Just jump in there, use your ult, get him out of there. I think with the Thing team up, he's a lot more fun, but you get consistently better games with the White Fox team up. The better auto lock and being able to charge your ult up just a little bit faster while healing your allies. So I think Iron Fist is going in high just for all the he can do. Now, on the other side of the iron, I guess, guard in the heroes is the Man of Iron. Iron Man himself. Where are we throwing this gamer at, you know? He's another flyer like Torch, and he does kind of M1 half of the game, I'm not gonna lie. But if you can track with that laser, it feels real fun, you know? If you're able to track with the laser, I think he can go into high purely due to his ult, gamer. What are we thinking though? Maybe I'm overflowing the high. Maybe I gotta throw some of these characters down. Is Blade really that fun? I think Iron Man does go average, I'm not gonna lie. I think the ult is just too inconsistent. Unless you have the Hulk team up and it's enhanced, you're just like, good luck getting it off in the right time. It also is kind of just an anti-support ult a majority of the time, but I don't know. We'll see. I think I'm gonna shove him in average. I need to shove some of these guys down, man. Thinking about it more now. I know I gotta keep Blade up there. His ult's really fun. I promise, gamers. Blade is really fun. Jeff, hate Jeff. This stupid fucking shark. I've never wanted a fish to be made into sushi so bad like this guy. His ult, yeah. He does bust in the most literal way when you kill him during his ult. Jeff, even though I hate this mother trucker dude, I think he's going up a little bit because of his ult. If you get a crazy dinger of an ult, like the 6-man ults are just something you don't see often enough. I think with the change, his ult being a healing ult, actually kind of makes him feel a little bit better than worse. You don't get as pissed seeing him on your team, but the stupid underwater ability is so boring, I fall asleep looking at it. Oh, let's go dive Jeff. Never mind. He holy moly. Never mind, he healed himself to full while he's CC immune, while he's climbing walls. What? Can't even headshot the mother trucker while he's down there. I think number one, he's getting carried by the ult a little bit. Number two, it's almost more fun to kill him than to be him. You know, I hate this mother trucker. I think the ult and his bubbles bring him up a little bit. You know, being able to have crazy movement on certain characters with, if you have a teammate that knows how to use the bubbles properly, is a little fun. Come on now. Next we have Loki. Where are we putting Loki? Loki's a weird one because you can have really, really good alts, but the majority of the time, I'm sorry chat, he is a support alt bot, you know? There's just no reason not to Luna Snow ult or Cloak and Dagger ult in the fight if you're playing Loki. I think the clones bring it up a little bit if you can do consistent damage with them, but the lamp is kind of just a boring ability, and with like such a long cooldown, nearly 30 seconds, it's like you get forced out of it once, and then the enemy team can play the game again. So I think he's going under low. The ult can be really, really fun as some of these characters all the way up here, but for the majority of the game, you're just charging the ult to end up using it as a healer ult anyway. Okay, call me Guang Guang chat. Luna's pretty fun. Luna's pretty fun. She's busted. I mean, not currently. She's not as busted as she has been, but being able to get some freezes, freezing ults is fun. Your ult being a damage boost, if you want to have fun with the character, can be fun. And just being able to kind of solo certain DPS, you can kind of messing people up. I think if you play her the correct way, it's boring. You're a heal bot. You're making me go to sleep even thinking about it, you know? But if you play her the I'm stinky smelly and I'm gonna dive you away, just to rage bait certain enemy players, I think she can actually be pretty average. Hot take, chat room. I know, you got me. Magic, I think, has the same Iron Fist syndrome. Her ult doesn't give as much dopamine as some like Strange or even like Adam, but I think just the combos and the consistency in her kit gamers, that can make her pretty fun if you know what you're doing. Yes, there are some times where you're building up your overshield, or you're trying to force out some cooldowns by dashing in and then dashing out. But if you can get a crazy ult, or you can position yourself to go in at the right moment, I think Magic can be pretty high on the list. Kind of has the same Daredevil syndrome of she has a lot of buttons to press. We like button mashing here, gamer. Magneto. Where are we throwing Magneto? Are we hitting crazy Meteor M's? Or are we throwing him in the Meteor Z category? I think the overall opinion of Magneto is he is the boring tank. He is the, oh, we need a shield tank and we don't have Strange, or oh, let's go somebody who can just bubble supports. But I think if you know how to hit your combos, and the Meteor M alone, it's just so fun knocking down these mother trucking strategists, you know? And hot take, I like the Emma team up. Yeah, he feels pretty generic. He is very, very generic. He is tank number 2 in the video game. I think some of my Lord bias is coming out, chat room, for the Magnet Man. But I think blocking ults with your bubble and your shield is really, really fun. And I think being able to hit one-shot combos with either the Emma Frost team up or longer range combos with the Scarlet Witch one is fun. And the Meteor M's dunking on supports. That's like the only reason you play this character, to have fun. So I think he's kind of getting carried by his ult a little bit, but I'm throwing him in high game. Next we have Mantis. Mantis is another one where if you hit dingers, she's real fun. And the fact that you can damage boost yourself is even more fun, I'm gonna be honest. The sleep makes you want to throw her in board because it kind of is like an AoE. So does the ult. The ult kind of makes me want to bring her down too. But we hate Mantis? What? Okay, I'll take then, chat room. I think I kind of like Mantis. But that doesn't mean she's fun. Compared to other supports like my homeboy Adam, or even like Deadpool support or Gambino, she is kind of a little boring. Why is the opinion that we hate Mantis? Is her heals just kind of lackluster, or the fact that you can't dive her easily because she has a near unmissable CC ability? What are we thinking? Also, I think the ult is a little cringe too. If the healing was a little bit better, it'd be just one of the best strategist ults where you can do stuff and heal and grants overshield. Yeah, that's what I'm playing against her. It's just, she could just stay in the backline damage boost and just get free healing. And now that her healing is AoE, I think it brings her skill ceiling a little lower. Mr. Fint. Mr. Okay, there's two ways you can go with this character, and we're gonna go with the boring way, just for sake of argument. Another Lord Fantastic over here. Okay, it's really hard to save my biases here, gamers, but half the time you do kind of just play him as a secondary or even a third tank. You're there to help contest by moving around and building up your overshield and having your invincible fridge mode. And his ult kind of brings him down a lot. In certain cases, you can have some crazy brainiac bounces. But if you're not in like an enclosed area, you just can't consistently have any fun ults. If they have an immunity, they could just cancel the entire ult. So I think the Fantastic is kind of going low. Again, with this character, you can't hit any dingers. You can hit multiple people if you swing your arms back and forth, but I think in reality, if you're playing to juice it up, I think he is a little bit lower than normal. And I'm sorry, my man. Moon Knight, I fall asleep playing this guy. We're throwing onks down, we're throwing ults and then onks down. You can hit dingers at him, but when are you aiming as this character? Genuinely. You know, he's kind of the no-brain swarm mentality. Is if you just don't feel like playing the game, but still want to pump out crazy damage numbers, you just go Moon Knight. Another big issue with Moon Knight is he doesn't have a lot of securing kill abilities unless it's your ult. So you kind of just farm, support, enemy support ults if you're playing them. And if your onks get shot out, you just can't play the game. You know, you can only hope that they have a Devil Dino or anybody who could just soak up all your attacks just so you can do a little bit more damage. Namor, Namor's fun. Don't kill me, chat. Don't kill me, chat. I dipped my toe a little bit. The gliding in grapple is fun, but the majority of time, Moon Knight players are just using that thing to get on high ground and then run away from the Hulk who's chasing them. It could be fun if they used it in a fun way, but they're just using it to get high ground and toss some honks out. Okay, guys, Namor. Namor's pretty fun. I think his ult, the fact that it takes a little bit of skill to aim the center too, I think that could be really fun. However, the squids are bringing him way down. Gamma Squid brings him way down a lot. They made this character super boring when they reintroduced Gamma Squid, gamers. I think the big issue is with Gamma Squid, it's you either get it up all game and you win, or they just insta-shoot squids and now you're nothing but a trident tosser. Hitting dingers with the trident, it feels good. You know, hitting projectile dingers, same as Hawkeye, feels really, really good. But it's also, your movement's really, really boring too. If you get dove, you just throw your squids down and say, you can't touch me in your little bubble. So I think the ult is the only thing saving them from the board category. You know, you hit a couple dingers here and there, but I think the ult and being able to laugh when somebody just dies to your stupid squids is kind of funny. Penny's going straight here. No amount of spawn traps mines are gonna save this character from getting out of boring tier. If like a half-second CC on a 3-second cooldown, that's super fun when you're playing as her, but if you're playing against her, I'm just going to sleep. I don't think I've been more frustrated than playing against a Penny when your team just doesn't know what mines are. They support all, walk in and die. They're playing DPS and they don't know where their shooting button is, so the mines never just go away. And the fact that she has 2 mines now, or 2 mine placements, just make this character absolute sleeping board. But she's going all the way down here, gamers. The Phoenix kind of has a little bit of a Hela syndrome, but I kind of like her because the sparks, you know? Just the sound is boosting the dopamine a little bit, gamers. You know, hitting some dingers, getting your sparks stacked up and exploding, it kind of feels really fun. Also, your ult's a little bit more interactive than just standing up there and shooting all you want. It feels really good hearing a rocket ult and just demolishing the thing, or seeing a Groot not be able to play the game for a couple seconds just because you pressed the key button. So we're gonna put her all the way up to low, even though she kind of has another Cyclops syndrome of she's just pressing M1 the majority of the game. You press your other button that you don't really have to aim that much, and then yeah, that's pretty much it. But I think the dingers and the spark passive is the only thing bringing this character up. Psylocke, okay, Psylocke, this is where my lack of experience is kind of hindering us, chat room. You know, this is where I don't play a lot of Psylocke, so Though the alt looks fun, it also seems a little uninteractive, and it seems kind of frustrating when they just walk out of it. So I don't know. We'll see. I think I want to put her as average, just because even though she's kind of a stealthy dive character, I feel like she's not moving nearly as much as you want her to be. You know. So I think we'll put her down to average, just because her alt's a little fun, but the rest of her abilities are, they don't sync well together in my mind. Hot take there, chat room. The Pun. I think Pun might be the exact same for the opposite. Yeah, same. She is fun, but I have like one game as her. And obviously I'm not going to do as well as you want to do when you've only played a couple games, you know? You get 1 or 2 kills and it feels good, but the rest of the game you feel like you just can't do anything because they'll blow you up once you go non-invis. Pun, shotgun pun is one of the most fun things in this video game. Being able to either jump into their backline or watch a cloak and dagger come straight at you and then one-shot them with a shotgun is super duper fun. However, he does kind of have boring disease, I'm not gonna lie, Sharon. He does kind of make you go to sleep a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. With his him being primarily an M1er for a minute, and then his ult just being more M1s. This is John Call of Duty. This is Mr. Shoot Gun Man. Although he can be fun sometimes, if you get against a competent of enough enemies, they'll know when to prioritize you or keep their heads hidden for just a minute. Okay, on to Rogue now, gamers. Where are we putting Rogue? Okay, I'm just kidding. We'll go back to Rocket. I have no clue why anybody who would want to play this character, other than just to run away from getting dove. Is that fun? Is that fun, running away from getting dove? You sit in a corner and spam heal balls all game until you pop your ult out, and you're still spamming heal balls. Rocket is just so boring in my head. I just don't see why anybody would play him. Unless you're a sadistic human who gets pleasure out of hiding into your little hobbit hole that you built from a box of scraps and just shooting your balls out. I don't know what kind of human you are. Or you're not human. You may be a literal raccoon playing this. On to Mon Ami, we have the Rogue. I think Rogue is really, really fun. Massing her combos and just DPS Rocket might be the most boring way to play. Dude, DPS Rocket has to be a little bit more fun than just spamming heals. Or maybe it's like not fun because you can't do anything at all. But I think Rogue, back to what I was saying, I think Rogue's pretty fun. If you really understand her combos and know when to hold her kicks to give yourself the overshield you need, or not only that, but prioritizing which kind of ability you want to copy can be really, really fun. Whether it's Magneto Bubble or even like Luna Freeze, I think it could be, she could be zooted if she had a better ult. I think her ult's kind of holding her back, chat room, I'm not gonna lie. Her ult is just, you dive the supports with it, you get the healing from it, and it gives you that just a little bit extra DPS you need to secure the kill. So the ult's like fun, but we're not in crazy levels of dopamine. Rogue looks like magic plus Emma Diamond. Yeah, Rogue is another white woman in the video game. Yeah, being able to steal Emma Diamond form is fun, but you kind of just get the defense aspects of it. You don't get any of the fun buttons. Scarlet Witch, bored. I'm just kidding. I'm a Scarlet Witch hater to the day I die. But the ult, we've seen fun clips of the ult. We're gonna put her in low, you know. For the rest of the characters, we're gonna shove them to the left side just so we can see the ones we add. I'm kind of pretty confident put her in low, especially since she has 2 charges of her dash, 2 get out of jail free cards. A ranged CC on a DPS is ridiculous. An auto aim ability, and even your primary fire that you do have to aim can't even headshot, so you're not hitting crazy dinger. Where's my dopamine rush from hitting the head? You know, the only thing we're getting from this is the ult. We've seen the Doctor Strange 6-man Scarlet ults. We've seen the Jeff ult and the Scarlet Witch 6-mans, but I think that's the only redeeming factor of this character. Saves her from bored this much. Okay, next we got Spider-Man. Spider-Man's pretty zooted. Yeah, you get dopamine from MVP. I guess that's pretty much it. I just don't see myself getting any enjoyment out of this character. Now, Spider-Man, I think in the right hand, Spider-Man hot take, not hot take. He's gonna be put in zooted, chat room. I think the combo ability is something I really enjoy from video games. So being able to just memorize what combos did enough damage to kill the 275s, or forcing out certain cooldowns. Against Cloak and Dagger, we're throwing him down here. Brother can't do a damn thing against somebody who has 3 invincible buttons, but just even the voice line, the Amazing Spider-Man ult is really fun. His ult does not amazing damage. You can't use it to stop strategist ult, but it does CC a little bit. And I think the pulls alone is what's going to shove this guy up into zooted gamers. The combos are nice. Swinging's really fun, of course, but the off-map pulls you can hit, I think he's gonna bring him up to zooted. Squirrel Girl, we got Junkrat Syndrome gamers. Where are we shoving Squirrel Girl? My mind just wants to throw her down and board. In ults that auto aims, nuts you don't have to aim. Another range CC. Why are we giving these characters this? Another also get out of jail free card with your jump and new cooldowns. You can reset your cooldowns just for free. The jump is in no way fun at all. It doesn't save you when you're playing the character. And then when you're playing against it, it just saves them that 2 extra seconds before you finally kill them. Just makes it a little bit more annoying to kill this person. We're putting her all the way down to board. I do not see the appeal of the girl of squirrels in the Marvel Rivals video game. On the opposite end of the spectrum, Auto Aim Ultimate is fun. What? Yeah, Squirrel Girl's she's getting Junkrat Syndrome of just sit all the way in the back and hold M1. Star-Lord, I think, has gotten a little bit of a boost, gamers, with the Groot team up. Being able to, is it a boost or is it a lower? I think it's a boost just because it's fun, silly, and new. But I think a part of me wants to throw our best boy Star-Lord over in average. Because, yeah, it's fun just moving around, and it's fun hitting one clips. But unless you have impeccable aim, this character doesn't really do too much other than try to headshot some strategists, you know? I think one of the biggest issues this character has is also the auto aim ultimate. It is fun, like, lasering people down, but I'm not gonna diss Squirrel Girl and not diss my homie over here, too. Okay, gamers. We have another flyer, which is Storm. Storm is a difficult one, you know? Because I've only played her a few times, and the few times I did have fun. Her ult can be really fun, especially if you pair her up with the new Johnny Storm or Jeff team-ups. But it just moves so slow. I'm just like falling asleep, coming back to the team fight after I got dove, and there was nothing I could do about it because I don't input enough damage to kill the divers on me, you know? I think she would be a little bit more fun if she had either 1, a bit more movement, or 2, just a little bit more skillful ability. You have 1 that just damages around you or buffs you a little bit, and then another where it's basically a enhanced primary fire. So I kind of want to put her down to low, but she's on the high form of low. There's just no enjoyment playing her other than her ult, or if you're able to play the game against enemies who don't want to shoot you for some reason. You're kind of a sitting duck in the air, especially compared to Iron Man and Torch, because those guys have the movement to get out of line of fire. The Thing. The Thing can be so fun, but the Thing is also, coming from a Lord Thing, so boring. Sometimes I don't even want to play this guy because of how he just doesn't die with the new team-ups. Yeah, I'm putting him all the way in high. His ult is really fun if you get some crazy numbers in there, but you are just spamming the Stone Haymaker all game just to keep your bonus health high and everything. You do have a CC immunity with your dash, and your dash, I think, boosts dopamine a lot, especially if you get against a character with high movement. This character is zooted against young BP over here. But if there's not a BP on the enemy team, playing this character kind of just feels like a babysitter of the backline. You know, jumping in, putting the vulnerability on enemies, and absolutely pushing in their soft spot with Thing, it's fun. But turning around, defending your backline, stopping the enemies from diving so hard, that's the boring part of Thing. It's a necessary but boring part of Thing. But I think it's still high, even all that considered. Thor, we're just gonna put it zooted. Next, I'm just kidding. I think Thor goes a little lower, even lower than the Thing, maybe. I don't know. Thor is my most played character, so I think he's really fun. But his ult sucks booty cheeks, and the fact that he relies on a resource like Thor Force to use certain abilities can feel a little underwhelming if you're trying to reset your cooldowns well. The Hella team up, super duper fun if you can secure the kill. But I think the majority of the time, if you get knocked out, the enemy's already steamrolled you anyway. So there's a high chance you're not going to be able to secure the respawn. I think the change they made with his hammer being able to gain shield when you hit somebody with is fun. And especially the change they made with Storm Surge, being able to push enemies behind you, grab them and move them however you like, is super duper fun. Pushing off the map with Thor is also something you could do a lot easier with the Angela team up now, but I think the ultimate alone is gonna shove them down a lot. The ultimate and just the lack of pressure you get when playing against any of the M1 characters, especially Punisher, Phoenix, Widow, and Elsa, you just can't do anything if they want to shoot you from range, you know? So I think that brings him down a little bit, but I think he's still really, really fun being able to combo your abilities together, gamers. Ultron is somehow absolutely boring and below zooted. I think Ultron's fun, but that also may be the case of he's a little goofy. He's a healer that doesn't have to play as healer. You kind of just pick him as the third healer, and now with the ability to spawn all your drones on all your allies just for a couple seconds, or being able to put a drone on somebody, give them the damage boost, and that solo DPS potentially can just carry the game. But I think he's a little low just because he's another boring I sit on in the back line and kind of shoot my beam. I think if you can consistently hit the beam is fun, but I think it's another syndrome of just I'm doing nothing but just shooting all game. You know, you can time your shields correctly or time your ult to absolutely laser some people, but I think he goes low, nowhere close to board in my opinion. Venom's real fun. I've been digging the Nim recently, chat room. Hitting crazy ults and then getting it back super duper fast with the Phoenix team up is ridiculous. Yeah, Venom is zooted. I think the fact that this character can headshot too, I'm getting all the dopamine rush from all the dings, and then I'm just diving their backline. I press one button on full HP, I press another button on full HP, and then my swing is back up so I can just go back and suck on my Baba the supports give me. That's amazing. So I think Venom's going in zooted. His ult is just amazing for not only finishing off kills if you have the tendrils connected, but the survivability from it all, gamers. So we'll put Venom in zooted for now. White Fox is difficult, man, because White Fox can be a heal bot, but with her melee ability, she just becomes a goddamn raid boss. I think she is one of the more fun supports. Her ult is a little bit more interactive than somebody, say like Luna or Cloak and Dagger, where you actually have to try to deal damage with it to heal more, or you can prioritize which teammates you want to give the blessings to so they're CC immune. And I think just the amount of abilities she can spam is really, really fun. Being able to cancel stuff out is fun, but not so interactive for the enemies, and it's very uninteractive when you go melee mode and they just cannot kill you. So we're putting her in high for a strat. That's really, really high, but if she was just able to do a little bit more, or if she could hit some dingers, I think that'd be zooted. You don't have, what she's missing is a lot of playmaking potential, you know? You can consistently do well, but there's nothing besides ulting as a strategist during a team fight that'll swing it into your favor. Bucky, I think we're putting him in zooted. Hitting crazy dingers consistently, getting the pull push combo, and then being able to ground people with not one but two charges of your ball. What? All that before the ult. I don't think I have to say much about the ult. Getting infinite resets is probably one of the best feelings you can get into this video game. You know, it makes you feel excited even when you're not playing the character. So I think Bucky does go in zooted. Being able to consistently hit whatever you need to hit whenever you need to hit it, he'll go up in zooted. His ult carries him up here, gamers. Wolverine, in his golden age, he may have been zooted. You know, he is still really, really fun now, but he's kind of in a position where he can't do much with everybody else, because they're just going to turn around, CC you, force out your regen, and then kill you on the spot. You can get really, really fun 6-man ults or really fun big ults, but unless you have follow-up, it's kind of hard to secure the kills if you used your buttons to get in. So I think we're gonna put not Venom. We're gonna put Wolverine over in high, but that's just for the case of not being able to consistently do what you want when you want to do it. You know, you can kill the tanks really well, but if they go somebody like the Thing or a Magneto who always has his bubble up, there's not much you can do. I think throwing people off the map is one of the most fun things you can do as this character, but you're never really in the position to yoink them off. And then Jubilee, it's kind of difficult for me not to put Jubilee in board, but I think the Red Hood team up just makes her low. Being able to absolutely melt a DPS who's burning you, or just throw your bubble down and watch them not hit you at all is kind of fun, chat. Also, you have the ability to do absolute cartwheels and jump around. I think that makes a little bit of a goofy, fun character. You know, being able to just jump around, use your movement. As long as you don't use it right out of base and just die, that will make the character a little bit more fun than these other boring healing ult strategies. Also, her ult's a little bit interactive, gamers. You know, she does have that ability to make it bigger or make it smaller. And if you really master the character, I've seen things where you can stop White Fox ult from doing nearly anything with the constant knockups, or prioritize healing your teammates faster, making it a little smaller. So I think she gets buffed up to low. And I think with that, that's the dopamine tier list, gamers. If you have any complaints, they're wrong. You know, obviously none of this is all set in stone. In the order, there is no certain order in any of them. I think some hot takes I might do now is I might bring Elsa down just because she is an alt bot for her dopamine, kind of in the similar space as Storm. The trap is really, really fun, and hitting the combos can be really, really fun, but she's kind of forced into a situation of just being that shoot gun character in the back line half the time. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the end of the video. Thank you for coming, if you made it all the way through. Let me know your opinions on the list, and what did I miss out on giving characters kudos to in their dopamine receptors. Red Hood's gotta be goated. I'm a absolutely milk this guy when he comes out. Pause.